Hey, babe.
Given that's how we live it, don't be mad at the system, it's simply how we've existed. I hear a lot of people talking like they politicians and choose to be an accountant because it's safe in the business.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I love you. God loves you best. Hello, hello, hello. You are tuned in to RoniP TV. I am yours truly, RoniP. And tonight we are reviewing Married at First Sight, Season 10, Episode 13, Secrets and Lies. And baby, the secrets and lies were being revealed and flying, and we are going to get into it tonight. I want to start off with Meka and Michael. Okay, so Meka decided she wanted to start with a little transparency and honesty, and she said, "Babe, okay, I want to hold your hand as we lay in bed and we talk about our finances and get everything together as we prepare for our future as couples do. And I want to share with you my pay stubs and my salary." And she pulled out her handy dandy laptop and she said, and she pulled up her pay stubs and she started to go over her finances and her weekly year-to-dates and all of that good stuff. And she said, "Your turn." And so Michael said, "Well, I don't have pay stubs yet, but I have my acceptance letter. I have my letter here, my offer letter, and it goes over my salary and all of that, da 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 da." Now, he had different numbers on this offer letter, and he tried to finesse her to believe that they had already calculated in his withholdings and tried to tell her that it might look a little confusing right now, but don't worry. When I get my pay stub, it'll all make sense. She said, "Back up, boo. Math is my subject. Math is my major. You can't come for me when it comes to math." I said, uh-oh. It's about to get serious. So he said, "Well, this is what I have to offer you." She said, she called one of the producers' names. She said, "Clearly, he's lying again. He just keeps lying. Why is he lying?" And I was like, she said, "I can't do this. I just can't." She stormed out of the apartment. She was done data. She said, "If you guys want to be with a lineman, you can do it, but I'm not going to do it because I didn't sign up for this. I didn't say that I wanted anchovies on my pizza. I didn't sign up for that. I didn't order that. I don't want that." I was here for it. I could not refute, dispute, or deny anything that she was saying at that given time. He's in the house smirking and laughing like some sadistic creep. And she said it right. She said it so perfect. She said weirdo. Because he was acting like a whole weirdo up in this piece. I was like, this is not right. So later on, they come back and she decides, okay, I'm trying to figure out what it is about you that you just can't be honest. So they decide that they're going to speak with Dr. Viviana. Dr. Viviana comes in and she asks Michael, you know, is there a reason why you're having a problem with honesty? He says that it has to do with his childhood and him being teased and his upbringing. And she's like, he tells me that in order for him to open up, I have to be vulnerable. And I tell him in order for me to be vulnerable, he has to be honest and open up. And so we're constantly missing each other. And there was this moment where he was sitting there and he was trying to have this breakthrough, and he was trying to be so serious and bring tears, and I was like, where is this sociopath going with this? I was not buying it. I just was not buying it. And when she scooted over next to him, I was like, Mika, scoot your ass back over the other way. Don't scoot over next to him, because he does not need your affection right now. He does not need you to console him. What he needs is exactly what you said in the beginning. He needs help. He needs help. 411, is that what you call for the psychiatric, for the breakthrough hotline? Yeah, he needs whatever hotline it is that you call for the people who need help for the mental health. Anyway, now we're going to move on to Jessica and Austin. Oh, she ran it tonight. She really started to show who she really was. So she wanted to badger again about LOVE. And he told her, look, back. In due time, sis. Just not now. Not ready for that yet. We're growing in that. She's like, yeah, we are. But don't you think we're ready? I think, maybe we might be ready to say, I love you. He said, well, I know I'm not ready. And she gets attitude. Then they bring up his job and having to travel, and him having to travel for his job. And these are things that happen. You have to adjust. You have to adapt. It's being adaptable. And those are things that come up in relationships, and especially in a marriage. You're going to come up in hardships and things that aren't going to be so easy, but you have to make it work. That's what love is. So she is so harped on these words, but she can't demonstrate it. That's why in my previous video, I kept stressing what she's feeling isn't love. It's deep adoration, but it's not love, because love is kind. Love is understanding. Love is not boastful. Love is not selfish. Love is selfless. Love is patience. Love is understanding. Love is giving. Love is unconditional. What she's feeling isn't love for Austin, because she can't even sleep in the bed by herself if he's not going to be there. She literally has to change her shift. You've been sleeping in the bed by yourself for how long until he came along? You've just been sleeping in the bed with him for 30 days. You've only been with him for 30 days, and now you can't sleep by yourself? Girl. So then they meet with Dr. Viviana. And they talk about where they are in their relationship. And right now they've been the poster couple for relationship goals, but there's some little cracks in the canvas. And so Dr. Viviana recognizes maybe they're not on the same page when it comes to how they feel affectionately. And Jessica tries to give this appearance as if they are, and Dr. Viviana says, I don't think so. And so then she tries to use this tactic to try and again control Austin, to make him say, I love you too. And she finally says, well, I do love you, Austin. And he's like, okay, well, that's nice and thank you, but I'm still not there yet. And her face says it all, because she said that she is stubborn. They use the word vulnerable. She doesn't want to be vulnerable. But it has nothing to do with vulnerability. She doesn't want to be left looking stupid. That's what it has to do with. And that's how she felt after he didn't respond in the manner that she wanted him to. I was here for it. I absolutely loved it. So, thank you, Austin, for giving me what I wanted to happen right at that moment. But she clearly has this fixation on what she thinks should be or how she thinks it should go. And that's not realistic. And I think she should just allow things to happen organically and let, as they say, nature take its course. But I don't know where this course is going to go, and I hope it doesn't uh, run its course, as they say, and then the ship sets sail. I feel like I'm using a lot of analogies, but you get my gist. And they find themselves apart. But, you know, what's to be will be. I said I wasn't going to talk about them because she got on my nerves yet again, but we have Katie and Derek. I'm not going to talk about them much. What I want to talk about is her insecurity. I've noticed that Katie's very insecure. And as mature as she claims to be, she has a lot of immaturity and a lot of growing up to do, because she says that she never had an opportunity for her inner child to really develop, but in actuality, she's stuck in a childlike place. Because, I mean, there's something happens, one little thing happens, she can throw a tantrum, or something will make her cry, or whether it's something that hurt her feelings or something that, you know, is sentimental, whatever, she responds kind of childlike, and she doesn't even recognize that. And her profession is mental health. Go figure. But, you know, she wouldn't be able to diagnose herself. She wants to project and make it appear that Derek is stuck almost like in this Peter Pan era, Peter Pan syndrome, and like he's fixated on the child like phase of his life, where it's not that he's fixated on it, he just embraces that part of his life, and he doesn't feel the need to let all of it go. And I share that sentiment with him. I understand where he's coming from, because I too feel the same way. I don't feel the need to let all of that go. And it kind of keeps me balanced and grounded and keeps me in a happy, safe place, because being an adult is a real drag. And remembering those parts of your childhood, or being able to tap into that part of you that is somewhat childlike as an adult, if that makes any sense, can create a really healthy balance for you to stay understanding and open to see things in a more positive and a more positive and hopeful way, because children are very optimistic. They are very pure and innocent in their thoughts and their behaviors and their traits, where adults have become very tainted and jaded. So I appreciate his optimism in that thought of the childlike thoughts. And she didn't embrace too much when he took her to the home where he has all of his things stored, and was just sharing memories with her. And he saw the cooler that he had, like the keg thing and all the list on it, the bucket list and all of that. And he did it, I guess, an ex made that for him and blah, blah, blah. She got in her feelings and was like, are you serious? You go and touch elephants or go to the what is it, the zoo or the circus and touch elephants, and who does that? And I was like, you sound very judgmental right now. It's like, just embrace that he's capable of doing fun and romantic things, and maybe you'll get your turn if you play your cards right. Like, instead of getting all jealous and insecure. This is where the insecurity lies at. She can't hear a story or embrace a moment or a memory without being all, I mean, think back, Katie. You're the same person who made this man sit through having to listen to you say that you pretty much still have feelings for an ex. He's not said that he has feelings for anybody. He's just recounting memories. I don't think she really takes into consideration where she is. She comes across very selfish. She turned a whole situation about him sharing a part of his life with her. She made it about her. And I want to ask her, who does that? Who does that, Katie? Moving on. Okay. Who do we have left? We went through Meka and Michael. We went through Katie and Derek, Justin, Austin. Oh, might as well get them out of the way. Zach and Mindy. Finally, Mindy saw the light. After going and sitting with her real friends, Shani and Molly, and a plus one, don't remember her name, but Shani and Molly are the important ones, who let her know that Lindsay is fake. I guess they weren't really friends with her. She was a friend of Mindy's. And she was the friend who made up the story that Zach brought to the table with the BS. And we were able to put that together. So Zach's just been lying this whole time. Zach's just been lying. Zach's been lying. Zach's been lying. Zach's been lying. But we already knew that. And so finally, Mindy decided to say, you know what? This is not working for me, and I want to call it quits. I don't want to be in this relationship anymore. You can leave the key, you can get your things, and you're dismissed. I was so happy in that moment, and so was Dr. Viviana. Dr. Viviana just wanted to bust up out of her seat. She could not contain her happiness. She was overjoyed. When Dr. Viviana went to go meet Zach, he was going through all these variables, as he likes to use that word so often, of what was going so well and how he was starting to make leads and doing things the right way, which he wasn't. He was still going around in circles, but he was making leads to do the things the right way. And she said, you're talking about all these things that were going right, but I just talked to Mindy, and Mindy said that your marriage was over. So why won't you just say that the marriage is over, Zach? He said, okay, well, yeah, you're right. Mindy and I are no longer together. That's what you pretty much say when you're dating somebody. I mean, you can say that when you are married to someone, but he's been so evasive the entire time to even acknowledge the marriage, till it still sounds like someone who's dating when you say, she and I are no longer together. It sounds more appropriate to say she decided to not longer continue with the marriage. But he doesn't want to acknowledge the marriage. I'm just glad she finally sees that her friend is no good, Zach's a liar and an opportunist, and that she can do better, and she didn't deserve that in her life, and now it's time to move on. Congratulations, Mindy. We're proud of you. And finally, Taylor and Brandon. While Taylor and Brandon have decided not to give up on each other, I gave up on them about 3 episodes ago. So whatever they do at this point really doesn't matter to me. But for review purposes, we're going to talk about them briefly. So Taylor and Brandon go out to dinner, and she decided to straighten out that little funky weave of hers that I'm so tired of, that she needs to change because it looks like it stinks. They go out to dinner and they discuss where they are, where they've been, where they'd like to go. And Brandon says he's really happy with where they are, although he still, has some walls up. I don't blame him because he's seen a side that was like, yikes, girl, you got some claws, and I really don't want no parts of that smoke. But I guess he's going to give it his best shot. I'm more leaning towards rooting for Brandon than I am for Taylor because she really showed no remorse for her behavior and her actions. So I'm just not here for Taylor. I have nothing to give for her. Um, so we have them discussing whether or not Brandon is going to move back into the apartment. And he says, well, if I move back in, am I moving back into my guest room? And she says, well, where would you like to move back into? He said, well, I'd like to move into the master bed. She said, well, you can come right back into the master bed with me. Come back in. And so the next scene, we see them, and he is in the master bedroom, and the bed is also accompanied by the big collie dog that Taylor has. I forgot the dog's name. Leave it in the comment section below if you remember the dog's name. And Taylor, not Taylor, but Brandon reminds us that the dog dominates him and humps him often. Bless his heart. Um, Taylor says, you didn't compliment me on my dress tonight. He says, well, I wanted to, but I still have some walls up. I want to get comfortable with you. I want things to be like they were, where we are able to talk to each other. But you did. You looked really beautiful tonight. You look hot all the time. And I want to be able to tell you that. And I apologize that I didn't tell you, but I want to tell you now. You looked absolutely beautiful. And she says, thank you. And I was wondering, like, when are you going to go and take that makeup off your face? And the scene ended and she pulled the covers up. And I'm like, oh my God, you still got all that cake on your face, girl. Not for anything. I'm going to take the cake off my face. But anyway, I was here for this episode because, like I said, Michael is a habitual. He is like a compulsive liar. He just lies. And Meka is better off without him. The more and more that she finds out, one thing stays the same. He is going to keep lying. So they're better off apart. That's my vote. Um, I really don't see any of them staying together. If anybody stays together, I see maybe Austin and Jessica staying together, and that's probably only because of Austin. But Jessica is a real controlling, you know what, you can fill in whatever word you want for that blank, but I got a few choice one syllable words that I could put up in that piece. I'll keep them to myself though. You put in the comment section below what one-syllable words or two-syllable words you would put in the blank for Jessica. What adjective would you use to describe her? What adjective would you use to describe Taylor? What adjective would you use to describe Meka? What adjective would you use to describe Mindy? And what adjective would you use to describe Katie? Thank you so much for tuning into this video. Please don't forget to leave your comments in the comment section below. Thumbs up this video if you enjoyed, and share if you care. And also don't forget, most importantly, to subscribe to my channel. And until next time, bye.